Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video I'm going to be showcasing version 2 of my mini Sahara shop I've designed. So I've ironed out a few issues since the last iteration. I've also managed to compact the system quite a lot. The longest bit is now the item filters, but you could probably compact those by looping it round. I just did it like this so it'd be easier. You now can't overpay. If you pay too much, your diamonds will be refunded to you. I'm also going to show you how to set the system up. So there'll be a world downloading schematic in the description, so you can check this out for yourself. Have a look at it before you build it. But yeah, like I said, I'll show you how to set it up. You need to first of all put into the filter hoppers. So you can cut this to any length you want, but in the filter hoppers, in each one, you should have one of the item you want to filter, then fill it up with 4 filler items like this, and then another one there. Now, I would recommend, because you could leave the default items there, however, I'd recommend getting an anvil and naming your stock item, so you want 2 of those, as the price. So I'm going to say 3 stacks per diamond type. So I'm going to say 3 stacks per diamond. So you'll need 2 of those, and I'd recommend, like I say, doing this for each of them. So then instead of having in here just a regular cobblestone, put this one. So it's just a bit harder to replicate, so that a user can't just throw in their own item and it will try and sell them it even if there's no stock of it. Now that this is done, you're going to need to add some stock to your shop. So I've deliberately designed this so that you can access each of the barrels and hoppers in a continuous line, which is why the bullet column is a bit of a weird shape. That could probably be replaced with the dropper elevator. I just prefer one because it's cheaper and easier. So now what you need to do is get yourself some shulker boxes. These can be any colour, you can name them if you want. Then you'll fill that up with your stock. So I priced it out. 3 stacks per diamond. So I'd put 3 stacks of cobblestone here in any slot, any order. I would recommend doing it from the start. It just makes it a bit easier for the customer. And then I would put that in here, and then I'd fill that up, and then I would fill the barrel up, ideally. But one thing you will need to make sure is have a note of how many things you have. So we've got 9 at 5 at 27. I can't remember doing that maths, but that's how many items we have available, how many sets of stock. So then, it's kind of earlier, but then you can optionally, you can get rid of this row of droppers if you don't want the receipts. But then you can set receipts. So if I do, there we go, cobblestone for 3 stacks of diamond, then you can fill these. And again, there's an easy way to access this, because even if you have blocks here, you can just crouch under and reach. So again, fill this. This doesn't matter. This can have as many as you want. I would recommend trying to fill it. So yeah, now we have our first module set up, so we'll test it with this. So what you do, almost forgot, you need to also include how much stock you've got. So according to my maths, we have 41 shulker boxes in here, here, and here combined, which is the stock. So a full stock could be 41. You could also add more hoppers and barrels to increase it. So replace the barrels with double chests if you really wanted. So then you can have even more stock. I recommend having no more than 64 of each. So then you'll need another 41 of your filler items here, or sorry, your stock items. So I'm just going to take a stack. You'll obviously have to get this and name them. Because like I said, I've got 41 stock items. I would just put 41 of my stock indicators into this shulker box. Like I said, if you had 64, you'd put 64. If you had 12 shulker boxes, you'd put 12 items in here. It all corresponds to how many you have. If you have less items in here, so take cobblestone for example, if I have 41 cobblestone stock indicators and say 45 cobblestone shulker boxes, that'd be fine. It'd just mean that the users couldn't buy the last like 5 shulker boxes that you had. Having less is bad, because then if they throw it in, it'll run it through the system, it'll try and charge them, but they won't be able to actually get their items because there's no stock for it to dispense. So make sure to keep an eye on this and try and keep it stocked up as often as you can. So now, all you have to do to use this system is open the stock shulker box and press Q on the item, or whatever your drop key is, as many times as you want to buy shulker boxes. So I'm going to buy 3 sets. There you go. So 1, 2, 3. As you heard, the note block turned the note block triggered and the light turned on, signaling that we need to pay. You can't reach the dispenser until you've paid, so just to avoid you being able to click on the dispenser and take out your shulker boxes full of items. So if you forget how much you've paid, a receipt should appear in here. Take those, because otherwise it can get clogged up and that's not right. And this is the payment shulker box, so I'm going to put 3 diamonds in here. In fact, I'm going to put 4 in, and just to demonstrate what happens if you pay extra. So I'll put 4 in, you'll hear 3 dings. Interestingly, there's no 4th ding, because if we watch here, you should see that there you go. We got a refund of a diamond because we paid 1 extra than we should have done. Now, as you can see, shulker box has been dispensed, so you can just open this, shift click, or just take your items into your inventory. It should dispense break it and dispense another one. Note that you don't take the shulker box with you. As you heard there, a note block triggered twice. That signifies that there are now no more shulker boxes in the system ready to be dispensed to you, and your order's essentially finished. So you can now take your receipts and leave. Now, if you're the admin of the shop, again, you can come down here. This is the main console. I've moved everything together so that you can just build a little room down here. There's also, like I said, easy access to the barrels for storage for your stock, and receipts as well if you build a little ladder down. So here, as you can see, you've got stock indicators. So there you go, there's the 3 we've got, because we don't want it to refill if the stock hasn't been refilled. So when it runs out of items, so when someone's like bought all of these will end up in here, and then you know that that's time to restock the thing. But I will just leave it was for now. So then you've got your empty shulker boxes. So this is when the user takes their items, the shulker boxes get picked up and put here so you can reuse them. And your profits all go into this shulker box here. This can be replaced with a chest or whatever you want, really. Also, you might have noticed that this says other lost items. Assuming that all of these filters are filled up, which they should be, you shouldn't have an empty filter. Otherwise, the user can just drop in any item and it will clog up the system. So if you really don't want to have this many filters, but you've already built it, you can just break the hoppers here. I shouldn't have done that. You can just break those hoppers to stop it using those filters. Or you can just fill them up with filler items. Fill all 5 slots with 1 filler item. Again, the system will break if you ever drop a filter item into there, so I would suggest finding some obscure item and naming it to some keyboard mash or whatever, so that it's really hard to replicate, and then burning the rest that you have. So yeah, if the user throws in an item, say, for the sake of this, I'll get rid of these, so go. If the user throws in an item, so we only have 1 module working here. So say the user comes in and decides to throw a baked potato in, for example. You'll see that that gets processed. Nothing happens. You don't get charged or anything. And it should end up, I mean, it's not clear, but half a line's clear, but it should eventually end up in this chest. There you go. So then if someone on your server comes and reports to you, oh, I've lost my sword or whatever, it should be in there. Or if they put it in the payment box, it'll be in the refunds section. So that's that. That's the main usage of the system. Now for expanding the system. So as I mentioned, this can be expandable to, technically it could be any size. So as I've written here on the signs, to continue you've just got to leave a gap, then repeat the filters. So water only flows 8 blocks. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then so here, as you can see, you'll see that even if I... Oh, well, I can't really demonstrate it. There we go. So if I let that finish one, there you go. You can see water only flows 8 blocks. At the end of the 8 blocks, you want to place a either packed ice or blue ice, and then a sign on the block or on the block next to that. So like this. Then fill that in. Like I said, leave a gap so you can have. After the original set, you can have sections of 8, then you'd have to leave another gap here and carry on for 8. Just tile the filters, they're completely tileable. Extend this hopper line so it doesn't turn there and it carries on and then turns at the end of all of your modules. And then, like, again, redirect that into this output line. Then you'd also want to make sure that you place that filter back. So that's timed perfectly so that it flows just to the edge. And yeah, make sure there's no gaps that it can flow out of. Also, if you want to say add like 5 modules, you can do that. So you just block this up, same way you would for 8. Place the water, as long as there's a sign there to stop the water, because if you get rid of that, as you can see, it all starts messing up. So yeah, just leave it like that, or you can just leave it with the default items, which I believe is 17. So because redstone travels 15 blocks, every 15 blocks or so you'd want to have a repeater set up, something like this. So if we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, I've got redstone here. In fact, actually, I'd just go a bit more, so I do like every 13 blocks or so. Just, if your line isn't getting powered, you know you need to add another repeater somewhere. So, normally, if there was just a repeater here, because these repeaters power this block, which powers this redstone, and then sends it to that repeater over there. So you just want to, behind it, place a redstone dust, another redstone dust, and connect that up to just before the repeater. But yeah, again, you can just leave it as default if that's enough slices for you. If I get enough requests for it, I'll build a block-by-block tutorial, but if not, I won't. And I'll leave a schematic and world download in the description with a unconfigured shop, so make sure to reference this video if you need to know how to configure the filters. If anything goes wrong with your build, let me know in the comments section down below and I should be able to help you back to you as quickly as I can. But yeah, that's all from me for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.